So guys, here we are with, I believe all of you already know this face, Francois Herholdt, the jockey here in Mauritius at Gajador Stable and Boot Gajador Stable. Thank you very much, Francois, for allowing us this interview.
No, please. It's a great pleasure to talk to the guys in Mauritius again for after a long time.
So you already know what a huge fan base you have here in Mauritius. We all know Francois Herholdt, the jockey, like I said. But talk us a bit about Francois Herholdt, the man, your childhood, how it has been, your passion, your hobbies, and all.
Look, my dad wanted to become a jockey when he was younger, and his parents died when he was quite young, and he couldn't pursue his dream. And then when I was about 12 or 13 years old, he said to me, "Now, what do you think about becoming a jockey?" And obviously, I'd never ridden a horse. I'd only seen horses in circuses and stuff like that, so I didn't know anything about a horse. Anyway, I went on vacation with my friends. We went past the Jockeys Academy in Durban, and now I'm here 32 years later.
32 years as a jockey. How has it been? Has it been a roller coaster? Has it been nice, not so nice? How has it been?
It's been brilliant. You know what? You have your ups and you have your downs, but you take everything in stride. I've enjoyed my riding. I've had some bad luck. I've had a lot of good luck. I wouldn't change what I do for anything in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, my office is the outdoors, so I love what I'm doing, and I'll keep doing it as long as I'm mentally and physically fit.
How hard has it been, from the decision taken to become a jockey to actually becoming one? Was it a hard one?
No, you know what? Obviously, I was young. I think a lot of guys my age, all they thought about is becoming a fireman or a policeman. You know, back in those days. But no, you know what? The first 2 years, I'll be honest, was a little bit tough. Um, Obviously, getting used to the horses and getting used to what you're doing. But I think once you start race riding, everything became a lot easier. You know what? You get to look up to somebody, and like myself, Jeff Lloyd, who I looked up to as my mentor. So I learned a lot from Jeff. But look, it's been a tough game. I'll be honest. But I have been very fortunate to have seen the world. I mean, I've traveled to probably close to 10 or 11 different countries. So I've been very fortunate that way.
Well, you said it, your office is the race course all around the world. You're like tagged as a group trotter. That's one of your nicknames. Why is it that, you travel so much and ride in so many countries? Why is it so?
There, there's a saying that goes in racing: "God saddle must travel," and obviously that's the stigma that has stuck to me. You know, I'm always up for a challenge. I hate sitting around for too long. I love meeting different people and obviously looking at different cultures. And I've really experienced a lot of different cultures since I've traveled. I think I've traveled since the age of 19. My first place I went to was, funny enough, Mauritius when I was 19 myself, and my wife, which was my girlfriend back then, went for 3 weeks, and I rode for Bashir Waidesa. And I'll be honest with you, I did not like the place at all. I thought, no, this track reminds me so much of a track back at home, which I didn't like. I was here for 3 weeks. I think I rode 2 winners in the 3 weeks, and I came back home. I went back, I think 7 years later, and I won the championship for Alan Pedro. Still a very close friend of mine. But look, I enjoy my riding, and I always enjoy new challenges, and I always set myself new challenges. That's why maybe I travel so much.
But you spoke about it. Your first experience in Mauritius, was it like that nice? But how it all cropped up? How that first, contract landed?
I think I may have been at the national yearling sales that year before. I'd won my first Group One race, funny enough, for Michael Azzi on a horse called Imperial Dispatch, and obviously people started recognizing who I was. It was my first year out of my time after I qualified, and I got approached, I think, at the yearling sales that year, and all the guys that have always come back from Mauritius have always told me what a great experience they had in Mauritius. And once the opportunity came up, I thought, you know what, I've just qualified. I've been qualified for 6 months. Why not take a chance and go to Mauritius? So I did, but I think I was maybe a little bit too young at that time. I think if I had gone back first the second time I went, if I'd gone then for the first time, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But for me, it was something completely different the first time I went, and I think I was possibly too young at that time.
You said it, Francois, you have like 32 years of career now as a jockey. What do you view as your biggest advantage, your biggest strength and your biggest weakness, if I may say?
I think my biggest advantage probably is my weight. I'm one of the lightweight jockeys around still. As you know, Mauritius, I was known as a strong finisher. So being lightweight, I had an advantage, but I also had an advantage of strength behind me as well. I don't have to be big to be strong. I always happen to get the horse over the line when it matters most, my biggest disadvantage, I would say, um, maybe my friendliness, being a friendly guy. I think people just take advantage of you like that. I think that's probably my biggest disadvantage. I'm not a guy that, I don't know how to put this, but
Is it that you trust people too quickly, too easily?
yeah, I think that's probably the right answer. Yeah. I trust people too quickly and too easily. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I give you three names, not only persons, but there is a horse doing that. You tell me what are the things that come to your mind. So the first one is Mr. Booth Gajadel, known as the maestro here.
Mr. Boot is, in my 32 years, 100% the best guy that I've ridden for. In all of my travels and all of my times I rode in South Africa, Boot Gajda is probably on top of the list as one of the best guys that I've ridden for. He's a horseman. He knows exactly how to train a horse. And you know what? Myself and Uncle Boot, we became very, very good friends, became very, very close, and we understood each other. I would sit up on the stand on a Tuesday morning after gallops, and I would go through my rides, and I would say to him which horses worked well in the morning and which chances I think our best was for the weekend. And he would say to me, you know what, you must stop taking, you must take that stopwatch out of your pocket. You mustn't time our horses, because Mr. Boot, he worked on time all the time, because time doesn't lie. So really, he's one of the best trainers I've ridden for.
That's one of the lines I preferred from this interview. Time doesn't lie. It really doesn't. Someone else in your Mauritian career, Tomika. You rode for the Gajadal
Uh,
stable, so Tomika.
Uncle Tom, yeah. Also, what a great man, and what he's done for Mauritian racing, and what his family's done for Mauritian racing. I think I met Uncle Tom probably at the twilight of his career, but still, what a great man he was. To ride for the Gajada stables then was an absolute privilege. And every Saturday morning, I would go up to his house and sit on his bed, and we would go through the race card. And he'll ask me what my best chances were, and we would sit and just discuss racing in general. What a great man he was, and surely he was missed when he did pass, but the things he did for Mauritian racing was unbelievable.
You spoke earlier about Jeffrey Lloyd. He's been champion here, champion over several years, but he's ridden some wonderful champions like Gypsy Rover, Rhythmically and all. But he said it, during his Mauritian career, he holds only one regret, and that is not having been able to ride Hinterland. And Francois Herholdt has ridden this horse like, it became a public horse so quickly. What do you have to say about this genuine
Hinterland
performance?
was an absolute machine. Hinterland is possibly, top 5 horses, if not number 1 in my career that I've ridden. He was an absolute gentleman of a ride, very, very straightforward. I remember the one year, I think Jeff was riding Rhythmically. I think it could have been the Gold Cup. I went to the front. Jeff came quite early, I think maybe at the 600. Jeff came to me, and he actually put his horse's head on Moses' backside. And I said to him, I looked around, I said to him, Jeff, it's too soon. And when I asked Hinterland for an effort, he gave it all to me. He was a phenomenal horse. He won his first start in Mauritius, and then the second start he ran nowhere. I remember he went and he got to the front, but something took him on. and for some reason he didn't enjoy that. So he ran last his second start, and I remember the papers still wrote the headlines the next day. What happened to the Wonder Horse? Blah blah blah. You know what? They really ran him down because they thought that the first time he won, it was a flash in the pan. And then his third, fourth, fifth, sixth start, he won so easy, and he became Horse of the Year. He won the Barbie, the Gold Cup, the Duchess. He won all the features for him in that year. It was, you know, he was a great horse from Mauritius. Eh?
That's right. The only classic race which is not in his palmares, like we say here, is unfortunately the Mid-End Cup because he didn't stay that distance.
Uh, yeah, I don't think it's enough for a maiden cup. Yes.
Francois, like I say Francis, like Budgerero used to say, you're the favorites of so many Mauritians around here. So would the jockey Francois Herholdt welcome the idea of coming to ride back in the island?
I would love to come back. I miss the place so much. I've probably spent close to half my riding career riding in Mauritius, competing around the Champ de Mars, and it's a unique track. It's you know, and it's some track to get used to, but it's a beautiful place to ride. You know, the people are super friendly, beautiful people to work for. I would love to come back. You know, a couple more years if it's possible. Maybe next year. You never know. And just get my go look at my old friends. Meet up with my old friends, some old trainers who I've ridden for. I mean, I've ridden for probably 6 or 7 different trainers in Mauritius. So Mauritius is close to my heart, and it's definitely my second home.
We look forward. We look forward to that. Francois Herholdt back in the island. You said Mauritius is close to your heart. We've had this unfortunate event here, unfortunate mishap, if I may say so, last week with the oil spill from the ship which got wrecked in the lagoon of the south of the island. You stood up,
Yeah.
one of the few who stood up, and we saw your post on Facebook and all, and ask your fellow jockey mates to follow and help Mauritius in whatever way that they can. I'd like to ask you first and foremost, why is it that you stood up for Mauritius? Is it that somewhere you do feel like you're Mauritian at heart or at soul? Is it something like this?
Yes, I think I am. Like I said to you, my second home is Mauritius, and I've spent half my career riding in Mauritius. And you know what, Mauritius, I owe Mauritius a lot for what Mauritius has given me and given my family over my time of riding there. The people I've met there, just the generosity of the people that I've met there and that I've made friends with. So yeah, like I said in my post. Anybody who has ridden in Mauritius and who has taken from Mauritius the joy that Mauritius would give you while you're there, just to give something small back. You know, the people there obviously they in desperate need of help from the rest of the world and mainly from the neighboring country Africa, and hopefully people see this and they can really help and do something about it.
We hope so. Now that you've spoken and in favor of the country, I'm sure your fellow jockey mates will certainly follow and help the country in whatever way they can.
I'm sure they will. Yes, I'm sure they will.
Well, Francois, like from all the Mauritian fans you have over here, we say a big thank you to you for allowing us this interview and speaking a bit about your career. But actually you're riding in Korea right now, so we didn't speak about that.
Yes, yeah, I've
Yeah.
been here for almost just over a year and a half now, and it's tough. Like I said to all my mates, in all my travel, it's possibly the toughest place I've ever ridden in. The winters are brutal, and the summers are as brutal. But it's a tough place. It's a tough place to break in. It's a tough place to really make a name for yourself, and prove to people that prove to them your worth. So it's been a bit of an uphill struggle, maybe the last couple of months, but you know what? I'll just put my head down and try my best.
I will wish you all strength that you need, and I'll get as many winners as you may, over there, and hopefully, sometime sooner or later, we have you back in Mauritius, riding in for the Mauritian public once again.
From your mouth to God's ears, my friend. Thank you very, very much.